It's always my privilege to introduce our young speakers in agriculture. It's actually my favorite part of the program to highlight all of the wonderful things young people in this province are doing, both in agriculture and out in the community. And it gives me great pleasure today to introduce to you Taylor Carlson, a farmer, a student, a 4-H member from Elm Creek, Manitoba, passionate about agriculture, passionate about telling her story. Taylor lives on a small farm just outside of Elm Creek, Manitoba, where they raise purebred shorthorn cattle, pigs, fainting goats, and any other animal of the week, as I notice from her Twitter feed. Agriculture truly has made Taylor who she is today. Both of her parents are 4-H leaders in their local beef club, and they are the reason she got involved in agriculture and in the 4-H program. One of Taylor's favorite things to do is show cattle, which they started through 4-H. Taylor also loves sharing her story, as well as that of her animals, to anyone and everyone who will listen. Our theme this year for Manitoba Ag Days is ag education and sharing our knowledge with those a little further removed from the ag story. We have support, and we are pleased to partner with Ag in the Classroom Manitoba. We have strong partnerships with 4-H Manitoba to reach youth throughout the province, and we have some young 4-H members here this afternoon as well. So with that, Taylor, I welcome you to the stage.
Thank you. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Right there is probably good. Thanks. Hello, my name is Taylor Carlson, and it is an honor to be here today. I would like to thank Manitoba Ag Days for inviting me to speak. I am very excited to share my ag story with you and how my trip to the Global Youth Institute in Des Moines, Iowa has shaped me. I live on a small farm just outside of Elm Creek, Manitoba, with my parents and younger sister. We raise purebred shorthorns and a few crossbred pigs. I have my own small herd of shorthorns and 2 fainting goats. I am in love with showing and raising cattle, and I love learning and trying new things to improve my skills. I am extremely passionate about ag education and sharing my story. My sister and I are creating a mobile educational livestock display, or MELD, where we will bring to urban schools and events to share about raising livestock. I also enjoy using social media to communicate with consumers and other producers. Through social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter, I have learned so much about showing and raising livestock, and I strongly believe that it can be the advocate's greatest asset when used right. I have been a proud member of the Elm Creek 4-H Beef Club for almost 10 years, and I know that I wouldn't be here today without the skills that 4-H has instilled in me. Through 4-H, I have learned so much about myself and my capabilities. I have met so many amazing people on trips and as a junior director on the provincial 4-H board. After I graduate from the Elm Creek School next year, I hope to attend Lakeland College and to study animal agriculture. I plan to continue being an active part of the ag industry and to use my experiences to bridge the gap between producers and consumers. One of these amazing experiences was my trip to the Global Youth Institute in Des Moines, Iowa in 2017. GYI is a youth conference centered around sustainable ag, food security, and teens learning that they can make a worldwide difference. The life-changing conference is held in conjunction with the World Food Prize and Borlaug Dialogue. All 3 events were created by Dr. Norman Borlaug, an Iowan agronomist who dedicated his life to solving world hunger, and Mr. John Ruan I, who supported Borlaug's plans. Every year, 4-H and Ag in the Classroom send 2 Manitoba students to GYI, thanks to the funding from Manitoba canola growers Bayer and Viterra. After submitting a written application, I was chosen for an interview. Once I found out I had been selected, I began writing the research paper every student attending has to write. We had to choose an agricultural issue in a developing country and propose a solution. I researched sustainable beef production practices in Brazil. Finally, finishing my paper was one of the best days of my life. Even though the preparation was extensive, I'm so glad I did it. The opportunity to attend a conference of this stature is incredible. In 2017, 200 teachers, students, and other chaperones from 38 states and 9 countries attended GYI. The World Food Prize is presented to an individual who has made an impact in the ag industry or food security. The 2017 laureate was Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. Dr. Adesina was born to poor Nigerian farming family. He attended Purdue University and returned to Nigeria, where he later became the Federal Minister of Agriculture. The #1 cause of poverty in Africa is corruption. Dr. Adesina saw a problem with this and founded the African Development Bank. They get cell phones to small farmers, who are mostly women, and are often taken advantage of during business transactions. When using technology, these farmers can get what they need without spending more than they need to. On the first day, we left Elm Creek and flew to Des Moines with the other Manitoba student and teacher. After we got settled into the hotel, I met my roommate, who was from Florida. My mom, acting as my ag and English teacher and chaperone, and I decided that we should take a tour of the Iowa State Capitol building. The building was gorgeous and was in a similar style to our legislative building. That night, we had a chance to meet all the other students. I got to meet people from Pennsylvania, Missouri, Florida, and Kosovo. On the first official day of the conference, we met our group over breakfast. Then we participated in the Bafa Bafa cultural activity, which is a study of theoretical cultures. We then traveled to downtown Des Moines for the soybean luncheon. Every year, the local soybean councils sponsor a meal consisting of mostly soy. Apparently, it was one of the best soy meals yet. After lunch, we attended several presentations and panels at the Borlaug Dialogue. That night, we watched the World Food Prize presentation to Dr. Adesina. In attendance were the former presidents of Nigeria and Ghana, and the night's events consisted of performances by a Purdue choir, a Nigerian band, and a singer. It was an honor to see such a wonderful person recognized for his efforts. Friday was my favorite day at GYI. We started the morning at the YMCA packaging food to be sent to Puerto Rico. After packaging a record-breaking amount of rice and beans, we went to a panel of university students talking about what young people can do in the industry. That afternoon, I traveled to Hawkeye Breeder Service, a bull semen collection agency just outside of Des Moines. I really enjoyed getting an inside look at such an important part of the cattle industry. Supper that night was the Oxfam Hunger Banquet. As we walked through the door, we pulled a card out of a bag which determined if we were in the low, middle, or upper class. I was in the middle class, so I had a chair, plate, and fork for my rice and beans. However, my mom was in the lower class, so she had to eat rice out of her hands on the floor. The upper class had a fancy table setting and a 3-course meal. At one point, some of the lower class members were trying to start riots and revolutions. This was the activity that has stuck with me most from the weekend. On the last day of the conference, all 400 students and chaperones were bused to the DuPont Pioneer Center, where the roundtable discussions would be held. This meant I had to take my entire 5-page research paper down to 4 minutes or less. I chose to research and present on sustainable beef production practices in Brazil. Brazil is the second highest beef producing country in the world. As a result, the country needs to protect their beef industry. The first half of my paper was a background to Brazil in terms of health, education, geography, food, etc. The other half of the paper was meant to focus on problems with the industry and solutions. Two of the problems I focused on were herd fertility in both male and female cattle, along with the problem of deforestation in the Amazon due to pasturing practices. The solutions I presented were to use artificial insemination in embryos and to use trackable ear tags in order to improve on the programs already in place. The most nerve-wracking part of my speech was being asked questions by a panel of 3 experts. The experts in my room were a professor from the University of Minnesota, a former director of the USDA, who also served in the Peace Corps in Vietnam and Sub-Saharan Africa, and the 2016 World Food Prize laureate, known for her work in sweet potatoes in Rwanda. I was very glad when I finished my speech, as well as astounded by my group members' research. I am so excited to be entering the egg industry with these people. To celebrate on Saturday night, we explored downtown Des Moines with the rest of the Canadian delegation, which was the other Manitoba student and teacher, and 2 students and chaperones from Saskatchewan. We started by going to an awesome store called Raygun. They had awesome t-shirts, socks, and pretty much anything else you could think of. I was told by one of the former GYI attendees that we had to go to Zombie Burger on Saturday night, so we did. It was, like the name implies, a zombie-themed burger restaurant. My burger was called the Walking Ched. The buns were made of deep-fried mac and cheese, and I had all the normal burger toppings with more mac and cheese on it. I'm still trying to decide if it was a good idea or not. When I'm asked about the benefits of 4-H in the ag industry, the first thing I think of is all the wonderful skills and experiences both have given me. One of the most prominent is my trip to GYI. I had the chance to meet and connect with people from around the world, learn about food security and sustainability, and I realized the difference I can make locally and globally. This really was an unforgettable, life-changing experience. If you have any questions for me or would like to follow along on my egg adventure, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, or my blog. I would like to thank Manitoba Ag Days once again for inviting me to share my story and for you coming to hear it. Thank you.